No, man. It's a dark day in Haven. But not too dark to gamble. I just got this. Well, I'm almost there. My nameless hat. It's almost there. That's going to be our focal point today while we ramble around the clockworks. Let's go. We did it. Anyway, it's go down the Sleepy Gate. Perhaps get some treasure. I think it sounds like a great idea. Let's do it. Yo, we got a friend. Let's go. Decon zone. So just to give you a heads up of what I got going on. Beautiful. That's it. We're still heating this hat. That's the idea. He's got an Apocrypha weapon he's probably heating. So I wanted to talk about the concept of heaven and hell as it relates to this game. Senses of the afterlife and that kind of thing. I made a comment to, I think it was Carbon Jim, in our guild. I was playing Lockdown. I'm like, because I was watching like my guild. I believe most of them are from Singapore. I think so. Which is remnants of a past life when I used to be on third shift. And so they'd be awake when I was awake. He's dead already. Come on, man. Don't leave level 1 decon zone. You don't have to, man. It's alright. So I'm like, it's very interesting in Spiral Knights. Like, you can choose your version of hell. You either do Vanaduke over and over and over again, or you choose Lockdown, and he's like, and then you fight other people over and over and over again. And he's like, or you stay in Haven. And so I'm like, yeah, that's like purgatory. And I'm like, oh my gosh, there actually is a little bit of symbolism in this game when it comes to the transcendent hereafter, if you want to even look at it that way, if you believe in such a thing. Which I'm going to posit that kind of thing does exist, at least in the mind, if anything else. So it's worthy of thinking about. In a very minimalistic sense of the word. We all live for something beyond ourselves. Yeah, if anything, tomorrow doesn't exist yet, and you can't prove it. But it does exist, right? You assume it does, and if you lived your life assuming as if it did not exist as such, you'd go insane pretty quick. You'd be filled with anxiety, that kind of thing. I'll get the, I got it, buddy. Cedra the Lime. It's very sour. How many people actually read the entirety of the other person's name? Really? Maybe we should do that more often. Names have meaning, right? And thank God our parents name us, because they're at a point in their life where the significance they would give the meaning of our name should be a bit more mature than ours when we're like infants or even teenagers. Like, my name means good soldier, so I'll let you try to reverse look that up. My wife's name means Pearl. I really like the name Daniel. Danielle means Lord is my God, or God is my Lord. No, sorry, God is my judge. It's great conversation starters. I love talking to people about this stuff. And anyway, it's one of the reasons we're attracted to such things, these games. There's a bit of a mythical element to it. The thing is, you don't want to spend too much time in the game itself. What's that?
I thought you were doing Rainbow.
No, you don't want to spend too much time in the game itself, because then you're just straight up detached from reality, and that doesn't do anybody any good. If anything, you stay Peter Pan, but it's only in your mind, because reality catches up with you, man. It's a little brutal after a bit. Big money. Let's go. Take it. So I think you can make a case that the transcendent does exist in one form or another. If anything, it's just an abstract thought, right? Patterns and numbers. Do they really exist? Well, mathematicians struggle with this specifically on the materialistic side, because you have to act as if they do because they reveal themselves to you, but how real is that? Well, that's a great question. Bertrand Russell struggled with this. or like, is the number 2 real? Not 2 of something. Is it real beyond being attached to a material? So, all that to say, I think there is a case to be made for heaven and hell. Now, I also think we kind of recreate the versions of these things through our myths and our little games that we play, because even a game is a type of abstract hierarchy. You know, you have a winner and a loser. Says who, and what dictates that? What's beyond the conditions of the winning and the losing, right? It's someone has to declare it. There has to be some sort of a judge here. That guy just freaking dropping, like, don't die on me, Sidra. You're too young, I think. You're just a young little lime. So what does that mean for us when it comes to playing these games? Well, we look at the little echoes that we have down there. Oh my gosh, Jesus. What is this? Whatever. I forgot I could actually click down there and use them. So what does that represent? We have a... So let's go with the... So we reach endgame, right? We've run our way through the clockworks, and we have to decide what to do with ourselves. Well, you could go through the fiery regurgitation of Vanaduke, which is by far the most profitable. Now, I'm sure if someone ever does the math, they could figure out maybe a Shadow Layer is more profitable. I don't know, but I see people do Vanaduke all the time, so that's like constantly min-maxing, and you can have your gear bent toward it. And then what are you working for? To get more money. And then what are you getting more money for? Well, to get the best stuff. So eventually you can work your way out of the fiery hell that you would consider being Vanaduke, and then you can sit in Haven. So what is that? Like purgatory. Sitting in there looking pretty. Not really doing anything, not contributing to anything. Alright, buddy? Not contributing to anything. You know what I mean? Ugh. Leg spikes, you're the best. And then there's the lockdown factor, and you can get gear inappropriate to there, but then that's a never-ending bout of frustration. The thing about this game is that there's no updates or improvements. At least there hasn't been for a long time now. Hopefully things will change in that sense. It would be neat if they did. The rules of the game change in order to make the game better. That's one of the reasons I don't use AutoTarget, because I hate how it affects low-paying players. I'd rather just play the strategy of the capture element of it. But even then, like, it's really easy to get triggered, get mad at people exploiting certain things. That was the slowest hammer toss. Okay, I could switch these. Whoa, excuse me. Oh, you were down. Oh, look at that. Gotta take it. All that is, you might as well consider that like a decoy. The enemies just go for it right away. The AI and the enemies has not changed in years either. It's not just Lockdown. But the thing is, like, if you play Lockdown, and you probably do if you listen to this, we are in the minority. The majority of the people just do this kind of stuff. Just wander around the clockworks. Because when you hit the finality of the game, you have to choose, what you're going to invest your time into. Maybe you want to get like the legendary soaker or something like that. I don't know. Whatever new thing comes out. You play the game, you can make your millions and get more stuff. There's people who've been playing this game since day one. I guess I am that as well, technically. But I took a long hiatus. I think it was like 2 years since I posted a Spiral Knights video. Maybe not even that long. I still like this game though, obviously. So let's unpack those 3 endgame types. This person's connection might be a little faster than mine, or maybe the processing speed of the computer, I don't know. So the 3 end parts, you do Vanaduke, you stay in Haven, or you do Lockdown. Let's go with the Vanaduke. Now, it doesn't have to be Vanaduke specifically. More like you just run it, continue for the sense of materialistic crown gain. Right? So you're aiming to get money, which money doesn't have an eternal value system. It has an abstract value system, but it's not eternal. Now, why is it not eternal? Because it's attached to a finite element, namely you. You are mortal. Your computer's mortal. Your character is mortal. The game, the internet, has a finite lifespan. It's based on something else, right? It needs something else to keep it afloat. That kind of thing. Help. So there's a finite element to it that it's attached to. That guy's freaking hammer powers. So what you're doing is, if you throw yourself down in the Vanaduke or in the Clockworks or for the personal gain system, is you're trying to build up something that you cannot take with you. Christ talks about this when he talks about the person who has so much stuff in their barns, and they're like, what do I do now? I have barns full of stuff. I know. I'll fill up my barns even further, and I'll get more stuff. And then Christ is like, fool, your life is going to be demanded of you. How much of that can you take with you? Like, your life is worthless if you're just going towards stuff. So it seems like there has to be something else beyond stuff. And I know we're going to start on the surface level and go a little higher than hopefully that. Because I know it's beyond that, right? You're doing it with camaraderie. So the reason I played this game to begin with was because of the four-player element, which is super cool. You get to imagine if there was 100 players down here. Now, it'd be too much. You would feel as if you didn't matter. You're not really contributing. But if there's only 4 people, well, then you are valued. If anything, because the toughness of the entire game goes up based on how many people are here. So there's like 100. That giant guy would take 20 minutes just to hack down, and that'd be kind of boring, maybe. So it's not just the material, but that's a major element of it, right? The whole point, let's go get crowns together, is that your end game. So that's the Vanaduke, and not to mention that's literally in fiery hell. Like, what the heck? And I don't like doing Vanaduke. Once in a while is fine, but I really just enjoy the more variety of the Clockworks. Like these, to be honest, this level right here, these green levels, the perimeter or promenade or whatever they are. These are the levels that attracted me to the game. It's like 4-player Zelda with customizable steampunk elements. I thought that was always kind of fun. Hoorah! Give me that spiral dopamine rush. And down we go. His hair's growing on the outside of his helmet. You need to take that sucker off once in a while, man. Come on. So the second form you can pull out of, and I did this with the game Risk of Rain a little bit, and I even scripted that one because I thought it was pretty deep. I really like Risk of Rain. About the elements of heaven, hell, transcendence, overcoming, that kind of thing. They don't care about prickers, they just run right through them. There's no caring in that in Miss Cedra. Mr. Cedra? Dr. Cedra? Fine, you can hit him. I won't stop you. So we'll go with the next element, which is beyond just crown farming, right? The next element, and this is when it's contained in the myth, and you attach the myth to like the elements outside. So you just go to work for the money. Well, okay, really, and you all work together to get more money. And then what are you doing? Like, what's the end game here? What's the point? You get money and then you die. Like, to work. Well, I'm gonna get hit. No, I'm not. So good. What are we doing? What are we doing with that? So what you do with that is you sit in Haven. Now, why on earth would you sit in Haven? Well, you sit in Haven to show off your costumes. What if you have 1 billion costumes? Well, that's not enough. We gotta look prettier. There's another thing coming out that we gotta invest money into. I attached a new accessory to this helmet. Look, my hair grows on the outside of my helmet now. Aren't I very cool looking? And there's a whole forum thread, actually, dedicated on the forums. If forums are even still a thing, I don't think they are. Reddit kind of dominated that. Took it over anyway, replaced it. Of characters and their cosmetics. So we glorify the beauty of this little JavaScript, which is really hilarious. But that's the next thing you do, just sit in Haven. Maybe you have contacts and you have friends in there too, but the whole goal of the giant runway of Spectacle is to look a little better. And I'm guilty of this too, at least in a little micro sense. I like wearing my Shadow Sun. I think it's cool to be a cowboy. Hello? So then, well, that's the second element, right? So that way you can take the Vanaduke, the Vanaduke stuff, and you can say, okay, well, there's a point to it. At least you're trying to get the crown farming to be cosmetic in the very least. You gotta wait to him. It's mandatory. There we go. Down we go. Guys got a windmillion. Let's go.
Sorry.
That's all right. You can hang out here. It's just, you know, let me do my thing.
Okay, bye.
Bye. Anyway, that's so that at least you can take the Vanaduke element. You can make it useful. Crown farming is to look better. Now you have to have a sense of the good, the true, and the beautiful in order to even to arrive at that. I would say. So what is good? What is good? What is true? And what is beautiful? You know, you have to have a sense of beauty that's even detached in a sense. Oh, I don't know. I'm getting there. It's been ages since I've seen this one. You have a sense of beauty that's detached. You know, it's almost like it's been imprinted upon the user what is good and what is true and what is beautiful. I'm just reading a bunch of Socrates right now, and I often struggle like, why the heck do I do this kind of stuff? Well, it's for wisdom's sake, right? You want to be a better person. What is better? Well, the ultimate better. That's the idea. At least I think it is. The ideal, the perfect version of everything. That's the concept that Aristotle brings up of the ideal. So you're trying to look better, and let's go the other way. And looking better has its place. It's higher on the hierarchy. If that makes sense. So you're reaching closer to perfection. You're always reaching for heaven. That is something about being tethered to the mortal plane. Is heaven whenever. And this is something you learn from like reading the Good Luck Archipelago, which I did, and I strongly recommend that you do. Anytime the humankind tries to force heaven upon earth, massive bloodshed is exactly what happens. So you don't reach for heaven as being forced upon the culture. It has to have a relationship with the individual, just like the abstract has to have a relation with the material. So even when we go to the sense of beauty, beauty itself has to be tethered to something that's in the material. Like they have to have a relationship. It's the relationship of the abstract. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, Lucifer. Am I? I mean, it just did blow up Lucifer. So I'm not sure about that one. But does that make sense? I think you have to have a relationship between the abstract and the material even to get to the concept of beauty. They have to be measured upon each other. And this is actually in Genesis too. The spirit hovering over the waters and saying, "Let there be light." Beautiful. So there has to be a relationship, right? And if you look at the creation of the universe, how particular those laws had to be when the Big Bang, whatever you want to call it, the Great Expansion, when that happened, it had to be so exact that if they were not as exact as they were, reality itself just would not exist. And so that's a relationship between the abstract and the material to make life exist. That's one way to look at it. So there's a relationship between all the Vanaduke stuff and trying to become cosmetically beautiful. Now, what's the end game of that? Well, they kind of cycle in on themselves. They don't go further than that. They stop. There's no life. What happens if you get everything? Well, do you win? There's no more adventure to be had. Do you stagnate? Like, what happens there? You know, it's neat to think about. Like, what are we talking about now? Is there more? There is always more. I don't think I've seen this place before. I say that about everything I've done in the Clockworks for a very long time, because it's just been so long, man. I like how there's 3 of us in this party, and I can still just, like, with a Wintergrave charge attack, splatter just about anybody. Anything. NPCs. So those are both self-referencing. There's no life, no creation. You can get to an ultimate. You can say, I found the costume, then you stop playing. I mean, that's also something you can do. You can just straight up stop playing. Sleepy time levels, let's go. Bloop. There's also another way you can go with this when it comes to bettering your gear, is you can do what I used to do, is you farm dreams and nightmares. And there's kind of an echo of heaven there. And what I mean by that is, you know, you get so close to it, but you can't quite go into it. Like you're just straight up not allowed. Like you reach, I forget the characters' names. Forgive me, my lore is not what it should be. But you know what I mean. You get to a point and you're just like, the guy's like, you can't go any further. It's better if you go back. My face. I have a shield that's stun-proof, and you've done this to me. Oh, how about we charge? Oh, do I not have... I don't have my charge boost on my gun, I don't think. That's my mistake. That's why it's taking so long. We'll have to fix that then, no big deal. Dude, I freaking love the clockworks in the background here. Trying to tell, because I play with AI once in a while, trying to tell AI to create something that looks like that. Good luck, man. Just about doesn't happen ever. Anyway, so there is a little I would say glimpse of heaven, because it's bettering your gear in a functional sense, and it's, well, it's just looks pretty neat, I think. I really like Dreams and Nightmares. I think it's a well put together stage. You could say, you can make a case that the game doesn't come to a final ending. You might be right there. I'm not sure what's supposed to be in here besides like rock jellies. I guess it doesn't really matter. Pop. Pop. Do I? You can do it, man. Come on. Go! Yeah, I do have sword focus on there. It's my mistake. We're gonna have to fix that next time around. These guys are vicious, dude. So much winning. Get him. Shot him with a charge attack. Oh no. I'm sleepy. Oh no. These win millions, man. They get you. Once you start swinging, it's like it can't stop. I got 2 of them? What is this magic? Freaking rare. Freaking with the F word. Rare. So there's elements of heaven, there's elements of hell, there's elements of materialistic stagnation, but they don't lead to growth. It's not yet. So does Lockdown do that? Well, I've chosen Lockdown as like my personal end game. If I log on here and I want to play something, the first thing I do is check the Coliseum, see if anybody's there. Now, I'm not the best. I don't like being the best. I know I will not be the best. And I think it's because of my upload speed. I've ranted on that before. I'm not too terribly concerned about it. I like playing the game, because even if you're not the guy that gets 20,000 damage, you can still do a lot. So I complain about auto-target, so I become recon. So I've been doing a lot more recon lately. Like, why wouldn't I do that? That makes the most sense. Try to beat the system as best you can. So I try to beat the game instead of trying to toe-to-toe people that have just absurd amounts of connection speed. And I think that brings me more joy than trying to toe-to-toe somebody that can do like 40k damage and no one touches him. And if, by the way, if you're one of those people who does that much damage all the time, you better... I'd strongly recommend, first off, find something better to do. Secondly, if you're that much better than everybody else, you might consider it something that's a gift, like a blessing, a boon. Oh, I forgot to change the charge. Freaking me. It's a boon and not something you have done. Right? If you're tall, who are you thankful toward that you're tall? Your parents? Well, did your parents, like, did they make you tall? You know what I mean? Like, you have to... A sense of gratitude is one way to combat affluence and combat indifference and combat, to be honest, nihilism. You need something and somewhere to put your gratitude. If you don't do that, you become bitter, resentful, and you think you're owed it. I am tall. That's the concept of pride in the biblical structure, by the way. It's like, I am this. Well, yeah, I can never buy that. It's an immature way of looking at reality. As if you're owed, as if reality itself owes you something. Like, you should feel grateful for being allowed to live. I don't know. They say thanks for your food. But anyway, that's my minor rant on those that feel a sense of superiority that's just gifted to them instead of thinking they earned it. Earning is a little bit different. So earning comes with a concept of the hero element, and that's overcoming. You have a sense of pain, a sense of duty, and regardless of this is also in the book of Job, the concept of believing in the sense and purpose of goodness and beauty, regardless of the circumstances around you. That's a sacrificial hero. That's Christ on the cross. I believe in the goodness of humanity, even though they're crucifying me. Like you don't get any higher than that. That's a great way to attempt to live. Live as if someone like that died for you. Sense of gratitude. So that's my rant on lockdowns. But what's the problem with the lockdown? Lockdown is exactly all the limits I just laid out before you. You can get tied down in wanting to be the best, or being the best, which is actually a terrible, worst thing to fall into. You do so well in lockdown. You always do well. That's who you are. You always do well. You ever seen The Devil's Advocate? They make that point in the whole 2-hour movie. It's like you could have lost the case on purpose when you realized your client was lying about abusing that child. He's like, no, I win. That's what I do. I win. And the devil who is talking to him is just like, I rest my case. Do we go this way? I forget which way we go. Oh no. There's my map on the screen. Help me! Help me! I think make a freeze, giving them like a crunching death sound. Just sounds so weird. Ooh, radiance. I think last time I did this level I got 3. So that's the danger of, sorry guys, of lockdown, the pride element. Now it's a game to be played, so games can help sharpen, can help boost intellect. The thing is, if the game favors one over the other, it's almost like I ran into that. I can't even use my pill. I can? Oh no, it hit me. No idea what hit me. It's fine. I lost my train of thought. That literally just struck me stupid. Anyway, you can run into the problem with lockdown of you being, I'm just the guy who wins, that's my identity, so you gotta be careful with that. And then you tear each other to pieces. That's if you're not doing it honorably or in any sort of sacred manner, that could literally just be like, well, the power grab structure, right? Crabs in the bottom of a bucket. One tries to go to the top, everyone else pulls him down trying to get to the top themselves. How? He's a magician. It's so cool. Look at that light in the background, man. We need more games like this. Or maybe make this one better. I don't know. Hashtag Masa, M-A-S-A? That's terrible. No. M-S-G-A. Mska. Makes Battle Knights Greek. It's so bad, I'm sorry. We almost got it up to 10, boys. I think we should do it in the next level. I'll give my hat a name. I might even roll on it again. We'll see. So, where have we gone so far? And I'm not going to forget this time. True shot. No. It's the damage one, you genius. Handgun focus. There we go. So, we have different elements of heaven and hell. We have the concept of constantly gaining crowns, just for the sake of gaining crowns. We have the concept of haven, which is purgatory, right? You just sit there. But it's viewed as a higher version of just gaining the crowns. It's the result of the crowns. Or maybe you could mark it. Maybe you could play with your fellow man when it comes to materialism. But the thing is, when you try to get good at that game, is you need a foundation to begin with. Like, you need a crown base, right? And what else are you doing? If you're going to figure out what to do with your life, you probably want to make some money. And without money, which is just like, who the hell figured that concept out? You turn work into a number, basically, and then you value that number, and with that number, you're storing up work in an abstract method, which is tethered to a piece of paper. Just so weird when you really think about it. And you're saying that has value. So this proves that I'm going to pay you the amount of a certain amount of work. You know, it's roughly like it's favor. It's marketing. I mean, that's just how it is. I know it's almost like assumed that's just how things work, but you have to go down to the roots of these things and see what holds them up. Because money itself is not based on the work. It's based on the trust that this actually is worth something. It's one of the reasons why America is so good, I think. Its money is valued as much as it is. It's the idea that the money has worth because there's something worthy to be had between the citizens or whatnot. You know, it's not directly tied to material gains. It's directly tied to the trust of the material gains. That's why, you know, Japan has no material resources. Russia has a lot. But Japan, per capita, is way richer than Russia. I think I made this point a couple times before, but it's worthy of doing. So there is a concept of trust that's involved in the materialistic world, and I guess that bullet just went back into my gun. That's one of the reasons why lockdown is just a little bit infuriating. Anyway, so then you have lockdown. Lockdown is your other end game where you tear each other to pieces, or you try to play a game for the rest of your life, which is also good. But there's actually another element that gets so overlooked, and I figured this out when I was a lot younger because it was always my favorite thing to do. It was before there were missions. What is going on in there? I haven't seen the Masquerade final ability in ages, dude. That was awesome. Help him! There. I shot you in the head and it woke you up. Person even has a sleep-resistant armor on. We gotta remember to wake up our fellow man, because I keep forgetting. I apologize, guys. So what is the other element? What's the other element of perpetuity that you can do in a game like this? Because all games, if they're good games worthy of playing and worthy of repeating, have certain eternal elements in them. All poems, all stories. And sometimes they're deeper than the poets themselves. Oh my gosh. Socrates figured this out. It's one of the reasons why I was bringing up Socrates earlier and reading the Greeks and the thoughts they had, which were pretty in-depth. Is the idea that he was looking for someone wiser than himself. And it was not a self-proclamation. The Oracle of Delphi said that he was the wisest because he always had a daemon and said he would listen to. And he would always listen to it and it would tell him what not to do. So that's why he was wisest. So he started going around. He wanted to prove it wrong. He wanted to be like, well, I don't know if I can prove you right, but I can certainly prove you wrong. So that's what he was trying to do. You know what? Let's just do it with this gun. No, I meant to heat up my nameless hat. That's fine. We'll do that at the end. They both got hammers. I don't even purchase the expansion, man. How long have I played this game? I decided it would not be a good idea to purchase the expansion. That's fine. Who am I giving the money to? Ever since Nick made that decision to spell Spiral Knights, how did he get a dart in him? It's so far away. Yeah, anyway, ever since he made the decision to sell Spiral Knights, who am I giving the money to? Grey Havens, yeah, thank you for keeping the game up. I appreciate it, but this the consistency when it comes to updates, etc. We get pretty costumes, which is good. I heard the rumor is that the latest update came to the point where others can at least do model editing, which is good to a point, I guess. So we can get better costumes, which fuels the one part of the heaven or hell type environment this game produces. But what's the other element? Maybe you guys guessed it already. I don't know. This way. Shh, don't tell anybody. Oh crap, it's not worth it. Well, it's actually tethered to, I think, one of the more recent updates. I say that with tongue-in-cheek, right? Like how recent, 10 years ago. It has to do with a party button. And it mimics the best part of life, which is children. When you've hit endgame and you've created a garden, roughly, that sustains you, and you can upkeep, and the upkeep is relatively minimal. You know, you got yourself in order. You have your mate, right? You have your partner that can make you a better person. You have your life goals. You've impacted the world. Then what do? You made your difference. Well, you help others do the same. It's the party finder button. So you find people who are a little worse off than you. Or, I mean, maybe you just steered a different direction. And I used to like the concept of random parties. Like you just hit join an expedition. That's what it was before the party button. And you would just throw you down there. You wouldn't know who you were going to meet. And you'd make friends like that. I just made a friend the other day. Ron's, I think. It's from the Goose Caboose gang. And because I'm like, wow, I've seen a lot of you guys lately. He's like, yeah, it's an active guild. I'm like, it's super cool. Glad it's an active guild. You know, it's nice seeing life in the game. And friendship is formed through adversity. Not adversity, you know, in lockdown can, in a sense, form friendship. But you're both trying to accomplish a goal. You can respect somebody as a worthy combatant, but it's a different type of relationship when you're trying... Oh, right into the gravestone, good job, you. It's a different type of relationship when you're instead trying to overcome something together. Like if you were in a shootout against an opposing side where literally one bullet will end your life and you both survive, you and that person are bound together for life. You will never forget that story. You both could have died, but you lived through it anyway. God blessed you in one sense or another. Does that make sense? I mean, so that's the other option. And it makes sense if you want the game, especially as a game as stagnant as this one, if you want it to grow. You find people that are new, and you don't do it for them. Like I do. It's the same kind of argument that it's made with those that are older, as with those that are younger. You don't do things for them that they can do themselves. You destroy their dignity if you do such. Let's pull these out because it's just great. You want them to do as much as possible, and if you do that and you treat your children that way, they will grow faster and better, and they will be able to surprise the heck out of you, man. It's super cool. This is the last level, might as well use both of these. Oh, I had no idea that made a noise. So when's the last time you went down to the Clockworks at the random party and just helped somebody? You know what I mean? So that way, so what do you get? They get to see what a better version of themselves looks like. Somebody who's invested time in reality. It's what your kids do to you when they look at you. They get to see somebody who's been in the world for years, man. They get to see exactly what makes you tick, what makes you work, what makes you function, and they see, like, you know what? I can't do all that. I mean, I can do a little bit of that. And it gets them closer to the ideal version of themselves. Now, you'd never stop becoming an ideal version of yourself, but what you can do is you can experience the concept of growth and the concept of, you know, from the ground up, just from a different perspective. Ugh. That's why if you look at Joseph Campbell's hero's journey, there's a mentor, a protector, something like that's involved in the process. You want a guide. You need a daemon. You need something that gives you a glimpse of what the future could look like, and that's your parents. Now, I'm also expressing an ideal, right? Not everybody has two parents. Not everybody has the most stable growth, but we're giving glimpses of this. If you weren't giving glimpses of this, well, you wouldn't be hearing this. Like, if you have enough power to see this video and hear my voice, you've been spoiled beyond all belief compared to the rest of humanity that has ever lived. So what are you doing with that? Are you trying to make the world better? Or are you just wallowing in your own kind of self-seeking aspirations? And this again is Viktor Frankl. The guy survived you can bring up Nazis, but you need to bring up individual cases. Like, a lot of people forget what Nazis even were about. Viktor Frankl said in his book Man's Search for Meaning, the meaning of life is to help others have meaning in their lives. And that's the formula for children. That's the formula for looking down at the apprentice, the white belt in karate. We got 12 radiants, yes. And lifting them up and trying to get them up and out of there. Not doing it for them, but almost presenting yourself as that ideal character for them to strive to. You help them a little bit here and there, right? Just like a father, or rather the spirit of fatherhood, looks at the child and says, go ahead, I'll be here if you need me. I'll pick you back up so you can do it again. The feminine spirit is more codependence. I'm here to lift you up when you fall. So it's almost like a negative element in there. But at the same time, like, you got to start somewhere. You know, you're not going to take like 0 prestige knights and put them into a shadow lair. That'd probably be a bad idea. They'd be miserable. They wouldn't understand what's going on. They'd be ineffective. You know, just like the infant. When they first tethered to the reality. Women are more tethered to the very ground level that coaxes consciousness out of existence, out of non-existence into existence. Women are closer to that than men are. But men lift up. And men are shields. Men say no. But men build. So, anyway, when it comes to heaven and hell, that's mimicked in this little tiny Java-verse that we're in, you can see it a little bit. But it's always easier to strive for hell, because hell has an endpoint you can see, reach, and touch. The thing about life is it goes on forever, at least in this realm, and it continues. So the way to build up life is to help out other people, and use your skills to better those that are lesser than you. You can use this in Lockdown, you can use them in Farming Vanaduke, but that has to be your ideal, and everybody, I think, will get better with that. So anyway, I think that'll do it for this one. Thanks for watching, thanks for listening, and if you enjoyed it, let me know. I'll make more like this. I'll see you next time. Take care.